Scaling up isn't something that we can really demonstrate here with Bootstrap in the same way that we couldn't really demonstrate what scaling up would have felt like with a larger web site as opposed to individual web pages in Web 101, because the sheer size is something that is going to be difficult to recreate in such a, I'm going to call it an abbreviated format, right? You don't want to have to build a 600 page website using Bootstrap this week, right? Because I think that by now, all of you can look at that and plainly go, like, I don't have enough middle fingers to respond to your request for 600 pages this week, because there's no way that that can happen. And you are absolutely right. There is no way that that can happen. When we're going to lean on Bootstrap here to scale upwards for larger application web pages, what I'm really going to have you take a look at is what you will do to link together some of the smaller components to build, an overall property that has a lot of different, I mean application here, not like web applications, but it has a lot of different functions. There's going to be a lot of different ways that you're going to deploy this particular website, whatever website that happens to be. So the trick here, and it's only, I'm saying only, and it's only a 12-minute portion of the Bootstrap video, is the idea of modals. It is something that you can use again and again. While you're going through really I think this is right, but the best way for me to kind of get you to appreciate that is just to tell you about it beforehand and say, let that idea move you forward into what can we do to build our smaller web applications. And again, I don't mean applications like app, but I mean sites, into something that can be a much larger application for our website. So here in part 2 of Bootstrap, among the many things you're going to see are these are the important things that I'm pointing you at. Not paging up. Pagination is the thing I'm pointing at here, but scaling up your website. One of them is pagination. What do you do when your content is too large to fit on one page based on the size of the device? So that's one of the things that you can see and go, oh, that's how we make this a larger scale. Things like tooltips. Remember, not every one of your unknown potential future clients is going to have an idea for how to interact with everything. In Web 101, we had to stop short of a lot of Web 2.0 interactions, an interaction that is a two-way street between you as the developer and your unknown potential future clients. So the idea of the tooltip here is really one of the things that you will be able to use to, I think, great influence later with your web pages, because that's going to be something that communicates to your user that, hey, look, this company, whatever the company might be, this website, this property, the people who run it are here for what you need, and tooltips really are a great way to be able to do that. The style that you're going to look at here is going to expand on what you've already seen, is the multi-column format. So think about things like pages where you're making descriptions, and you would have a column 1, a 2, and a 3 as part of the larger grid that you've already put together. Well, there's more columns, clearly 12 of them, right, that you can add to that. And just the multi-column form, where you are again building that very, very rudimentary back and forth interaction between you and your user. Those are really nice in comparison to the simple web form that we have used before. So your larger pages, your larger application there can then mimic some greater Web 2.0 interactions without ever actually having to do any of it, which is great because the less you have to do on a client-server basis, the cheaper everything remains. So those are the things to look out for that clue you in to what you can do to scale your pages upward. Now, in the next video, what we want to talk about is what are you going to do to make everything even smaller? Because the web really is this expanding and contracting entity, and not everything has to be made bigger. I know it's America, but not everything has to be bigger.